The system that we have on our boat is the side scan sonar system. There's a transducer that's mounted to the transom of the boat, and what it does is while we're driving along, it paints a picture of the bottom of the lake. And based on what we're seeing and the returns that we get, we can interpret it to mean different things. We can see rocks, stumps, and our goal here is to be able to pick out a person, drowning victim, or like the chief mentioned earlier, possibly we might be looking for evidence. That may be something too. That's going to be real tricky to find. So we have a mannequin in the water here. We're going to be doing our search pattern at low speed. It paints the best picture. And we're going to be driving along in a grid search pattern based on the point last seen. So we have to do a good interview of the person reporting the drowning. And if they say that we saw the person over here, we're going to start doing our grid search. So in a second here, you're going to see a return. That's going to be a bright return, and then above it is going to be the shadow that it creates. The sonar waves cannot penetrate through objects, so instead, if there's something blocking it, it creates a shadow behind it. So we passed it right now. So on the left side channel, you're going to see the actual return of the mannequin.
Now, obviously, when you look at this, you're going to be like, that doesn't look at all like a human being or any object that I could easily recognize. But with the training that we've been able to accomplish, just getting familiar with the equipment, what actual objects look like between a log, a rock, a body-like object, you get to recognize certain criteria, like how long the shadow is, how big your return is, what the return looks like with the settings that we have it set up as. So in this case, we would not be able to definitively say whether or not that's a body or a log. So that's one of the huge advantages of having a ROV with seconds. It takes maybe at most a minute to get from the side of that straight to the buoy that we've thrown off. Once we saw that marker, we'd be like, whoop, little buoy goes off, ROV goes in, investigates it, we get an actual visual picture of what it is, and then we're like, okay, we know what that is. So we just mark that next to it and move on. And while we're doing that, we're continuing our grid search. Before this, I don't know how familiar anybody is with what we had to do, but we would have to send in a diver to do the grid search even. So they would be crawling along the mud with visibility maybe this far in mud and water like this, and so they would be 3 feet this way, 3 feet, covering 15, 20 feet, 40 feet at a time per pass. So it cuts down on the time.
Any viability, if there is the time. It's all about the time.
The other thing I want to talk about is the coldwater drownings. Coldwater drownings can actually slow a patient's metabolism down so much so that it's been proven that they can survive up to an hour of cold water drowning and still be resuscitated.
So if someone falls through the ice, that is a rescue we cannot make as a diver. We will never put people under ice in a diving situation because you cannot come back up. So if you have an issue, you're done. So that was a no-go rescue. With this equipment, this is the first time that we're able to make that a go rescue.
Yeah, ice is not a prohibitive.
Nope. We get out there, we drop the RV right through the hole in the ice, and that's our point last seen. Can't get any easier than that. We can go down, make an actual rescue, and then bring that person up on shore and potentially resuscitate a viable victim, which is crazy. We've never been able to do that before.
That's great.